Hey everyone, this is Kevin from thechesswebsite.com, and today we're going to be looking at a nice little middle game tactic called the deflection. And what deflection is anytime your opponent is using one of his pieces to do too many things, you want to try to deflect or move that piece so that one of his roles is no longer being used. And in this case, if you look at it, looks like a very draws position. Both sides have the equal number of pawns. They both have a queen and a rook. It's white's move here, but white realizes that black has this rook on d8, and this rook on d8 is doing too many things. It's defending this back rank, and at the same time it's defending this queen on d6. So if somehow we can deflect this rook off of the d8, protecting this queen on d6, then we can capture with our queen. And what we can do is use deflection by rook to e8. As you can see here, we're attacking this king. At the same time, he has to retake. If he moves his king, then we can retake, and we're going to be up in significant material. If he doesn't, however, if instead he does take with his rook, then this rook that was on d8 defending this queen is no longer defending it. We deflected it to the e8 square, and now we can easily take his queen on d6. And as you can tell, we won that exchange, and white's from here on out going to have a very easy win. So that's what you want to think about as we look through these examples. Is you want to find a weakness in your opponent's position where one of his pieces is doing too much, and you want to deflect that away so that you can capitalize on that. So let's look at a few more examples. Let's take a look at another example here, and it's white's move. And pause the video if you need to, but find white's best move in this situation. And hopefully you saw that the queen is only protected by this king here on f7. And this is a lot of the things that you should be looking for in a chess game. What square or what pieces are defended by what? And what can you do to deflect those pieces away from defending the piece or square that you want to occupy? In this case, we want to dominate this e7 queen. And so we're going to do this by bringing our rook to g7. And we're deflecting this king away. He is forced to make a decision. If he moves, then we're going to take it with our queen, and he's not going to have a rook. If he takes it with his rook, which we really don't care if he does or not, then the e7 square is no longer protected, and we can take it with our queen. So we deflected the king to the g7 square via our rook, and then the queen was no longer being protected, so we could bring it in with our queen on e7. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few more examples. Let's take a look at another example here, and it's white's move, and try to find white's best move in this situation. And hopefully you saw that white's main goal here is to take this pawn on h4 and then bring his queen to h7, followed by a checkmate, depending on how long black wants to avoid the inevitable. But as you can see here, the main problem that white has is this queen on d8. And so our goal is to deflect that away from the d8 square. And we're going to do that by bringing our rook to b8. And black has a decision. He can leave it on this 8th rank and lose his queen, or he can move it along this diagonal, and we can take it with our knight or our bishop, depending on where he moves it. And if he does take it, as you can see already, we can bring our queen to h4, and then subsequently we can bring our queen to h7, depending on whatever his moves are. He can bring his queen down to b2 if he wants to, prolong the game. Depending on what he does, though, it's going to be checkmate very soon. So as you can see here, we gave up a rook, but it doesn't matter because all we really wanted was to bring our queen to h4 and not have him be harassed by this queen on d8. So let's go ahead and take a look at one more example about deflection, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. The last example we're going to look at is a pretty complicated problem if you've never seen it before. It's probably the most famous deflection problem that you've ever seen if you've ever taken a look at deflection problems. It actually comes from a real game taking place in 1920. So if you want to try to attempt and figure it out on your own, go ahead and pause it right now. But I'm going to go ahead and get into the solution. If you look at it, white realizes that he has a mate on e8 if this queen or this rook from c8 are not there. If we were to take this queen and put it elsewhere, let's put him on g4, then you can automatically see in your head that once our rook takes on e8 and he retakes with his rook on c8, then we have an easy checkmate. And the same thing, if this rook is gone, then once we take on e8 with our rook, it's going to be an easy checkmate. So our goal is to deflect either the queen or the rook away from d7 or c8. And if we do that, then we're going to win the game via this checkmate on e8. So our first goal and our first move is going to be queen to g4. It's a very important move, and we're trying to deflect this queen away from the d7 square. As you can already see, as we talked about before, if he does take, then it's going to be an easy checkmate for white here. So he can't do that. Instead, his best move, he can't come to c6 because we can take it, and he can't come to a4 because we'll just take it. So his best move, again, he has to defend this e8 square. So his best move is going to be to come to b5. And from here, we're going to bring our queen to c4. Again, we're trying to have black take with either his queen or his rook. In this case, it doesn't matter if he takes with his rook, because it'll be the same thing. We'll take with our rook, and he has to capture with his queen, and then it's going to be good game from here. So as you can see, it doesn't matter for us if we can get this queen to stop defending the e8 square or this rook to stop defending the e8 square. We're going to win the game. So that's all we're trying to do this entire time. So from here, black's really only move, again, he can't come to a4 because we'll just take with our queen. He can't come back to c6 because we'll take with our pawn. So he's going to move back to d7 where he originally started with. But we're in a little different position than we were before, so we're going to continue along with our plan. And now we're going to bring our queen to c7. As you can see here, we're just asking black to take it with either his queen or his rook. It doesn't matter which one he takes it with, we're just trying to deflect it off of protecting this e8 square. So, as black already knows, if he does this, he loses, so he can't do this. So he's going to bring his queen back to b5, still trying to hold on to this e8 square. And we're going to bring our pawn to a4. We're just trying to completely harass this queen on b5. And after he takes, we're now going to bring our rook to e4. Again, we're just asking black to take, because if he takes, then we're going to have an easy win. We can now take with our rook, and then if he retakes, then we're going to have checkmate right here. If he takes with this rook, then we're going to have checkmate right here. So either way, he loses if he takes with his rook, or excuse me, if he takes this rook on e4. So he can't do that. So he's going to bring his queen back to b5. He still has his rook and his queen attacking the e8 square, defending it. And so we're going to bring our queen to b7, and this is going to be the deciding move right here. Black can go ahead and resign. There's nothing black can do to hold on to this e8 square. His queen can't go anywhere. If his queen comes to a4, we'll take it with our rook. If he comes to c6, we can take it with our pawn or our queen. And if he comes to d7, we can take it with our queen. And as we already looked at before, if he does move his queen off of this diagonal, and it's no longer protecting the e8 square, he's going to lose the game. So from here, black can go ahead and resign. Good game, black, and well done for white. If you somehow found this on your own, that's awesome. You are a deflection genius. But this is kind of how you can use deflection. There was a lot of deflection moves in this, but it really shows you if you have an idea or a square or a piece that you really want to eye on, think about what's protecting it and think about how you can deflect that defender away from that piece or that square. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video on deflection. If you haven't already, please subscribe and check out the website, www.thechesswebsite.com. Pretty easy. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.